Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Ric Longnecker. Ric Longnecker joined Open Systems as Chief Information Security Officer in 2020 after following the company with a growing respect for a better part of the decade. A seasoned security leader with global experience in government, energy, and consumer services industries, he remains strongly passionate about security enablement in a fast-changing world. Ric holds a degree in electrical engineering from Lehigh University, a number of certifications, and is strongly involved with multiple industry groups and associations in the U.S., Europe, and Israel. Well, good afternoon, Ric. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Brian. Pleasure to meet and pleasure to spend time with you and your listeners.
Absolutely. This is so awesome. Love your background, by the way. Dug into your profile a bit, did a little research, and I love how you traversed the globe and your career. And now speaking to me from a country in Europe, in Switzerland, actually. So I appreciate your time today, and we're going to jump right into these questions. So, Ric, let's talk a little bit about your career. Your career's in technology, a security director, and now you're the Chief Information Security Officer at Open Systems. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Okay, well, that's a great question. Anybody who gets into security, it's always a journey, right? And I've actually spent time at a major alarm provider like ADT in America, and a number of years with the United Nations, setting up a security program there. And I think overall, it's understanding who you are, and maybe also just letting life give you a bit of excitement. Don't plan it or script it out, and kind of just go with it. And that's actually taken me from New York to Sweden and now into Switzerland. I'm actually from Pennsylvania, so it's a pleasure to be speaking to you, Brian. If I would go talk about the company a little bit, Open Systems I've actually known for about 10 years, and we're a managed security provider. And we like to say that, and we're very proud to say that we do crazy good cybersecurity with a focus on our customers. I can say working here has kind of inspired me every day, as well as all the other companies I've worked with. And every new opportunity presents a new challenge.
Thanks for sharing, Ric. I do appreciate that. And security is really top of mind, I think, for everybody nowadays. There's a lot of emerging technology coming into this space, but security is definitely always at top of mind, and it continues to morph just overnight. So thank you for all the work you're doing, and I appreciate the share. So, Ric, we're going to jump a little bit into this pandemic, right? We've all had to make these shifts, adjustments during the lockdown, but now things are shifting. What are your plans for business growth going forward? And will it be any different than during the lockdown?
That's a really good question, Brian. So I think like many businesses, everybody had mapped out the pandemic, potentially taking 18 to 24 months. The smart ones got prepared for it up front, and everybody sort of adjusted. Now we're more or less spinning out of it with the vaccine and everything else. But if I look from our business perspective at Open Systems, or of our customers' perspectives, mostly in the manufacturing, education, other different industries, even healthcare, many, of course, are considering what they do kind of post-pandemic as we roll back to normal. With some new and different challenges. I would say overall, from a security perspective, actually nothing has changed. The pandemic really showed us that we can work remotely. And it also showed us that there is more and more security risk out there. And so all of our companies are still dealing with this, and actually dealing with it more so, maybe you could say, than 2 years ago. And our business model really hasn't changed, because we're here to support the remote worker. And we endeavor on a series of missions for different organizations, in the sense that our mission is to actually provide security and provide actionable results. And we see that with a lot of our customers, because a lot of them are hit with ransomware, and maybe they call us. Ransomware being an encrypted an attack that basically an arbitrator goes in an organization, encrypts all their files, and prevents them from actually working. And these threats are really real. They're somewhat geopolitical, and this stuff isn't changing, and our business model isn't changing. We're here to support the business and here to support the remote worker.
That's great to hear. You're reinforcing some of those basic security protocols that we all need to be thinking about. And the pandemic, like you said, has really changed the way we do business. But I'm glad that we've got professionals out there like you that are really protecting us as consumers, and you're obviously your customers as well. So, Ric, you're obviously leveraging some new and emerging technologies within your tech stack. Anything you might be able to share with us today?
Well, like any organization, when they more or less recognize the impact of COVID, they embrace remote work. But with the same rate, almost every organization in the world right now is adopting what you would say cloud technologies, right? Specifically, Microsoft Azure, Amazon, other places, and they're moving everything to the cloud. And I would say that we're no less extent embracing that, right? We've been an early adopter of Microsoft Azure and something called Azure Sentinel, which is Microsoft's SIEM, or Security Incident and Event Management System, in the cloud. So we actually partnered with Microsoft a little over 2 years ago, and we've gone headfirst into embracing this technology. And coming with it, we actually utilize machine learning and artificial intelligence, because it's really the only way that organizations are going to be able to deal, and individuals as well, deal with the continued risks and reliance in relation to information security. So I think another aspect that we actually do as well is we're also kind of on the bleeding edge of ML and AI, in that sense, driving our missions, because we've had experience with other industries, which are also applicable to security. So, for instance, we've done ML models or machine learning models for actual major tech firm out of Silicon Valley that you know of, and also there's some global retail and things. And it's kind of interesting because essentially people or attackers' behavior, people's behavior can be modeled these days, and whether or not it's in retail or it's in security or hacking, you could say, some of these same principles and learnings can be applied, and we take that approach and then give that back to our customers.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it, and you're absolutely right. People are partnering now with major solutions providers like Microsoft's to really enable a better security footprint around what they do in their business and also their customers. So thank you. And Ric, last question here. Could you share something maybe from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in either security or leadership?
Well, I think overall, from a security perspective and a leadership perspective, they can be kind of tied together nowadays. I think it's a real opportunity for many young people out there that are studying in tech, or those who actually aren't necessarily in security from the get-go. I actually have a friend in New York. I spent some time in New York with the United Nations, and basically, I've got a few friends that have been involved in finance for a number of years, and then maybe they were selling structured products, or they were working in currency trading or something, right, for some major banks. And as time goes on, the market's been great, but basically there's some volatility there, right? And maybe they also just get tired of working in finance, and they want to do some better for the world or something. And so I've actually talked to quite a few of them, because they approached me and said, well, how can I get involved in cyber? And in reality, there's two different things that, most people can consider. One is, start to explore it yourself, see what's out there. There's a lot of different career tracks. And from there, spend some time. You need to learn the technical stuff. And actually, security today is a lot about trust. It's always been there. And basically that trust ties into leadership, as many of the ways we consider security in different organizations are actually about people and how we can actually do something within an organization. So from the one end, there's a technical aspect and exploring that and deciding what you might be good at. But the second aspect is actually how to get something done in an organization, or work with people, or work to gain trust with them in order that you can actually make change. And I can say, again, this is a wonderful career for anyone. For instance, we hire a lot of young people, and they find themselves really fulfilled. And from the other end, in the end, you will eventually help people because technology touches us all today. and any sort of hacking or security risk out there can be really disruptive in people's lives. And we're really tasked with a mission to keep people's lives running as smoothly as possible and to avoid any sort of danger or disaster.
Thanks for sharing, Ric. I appreciate that. And trust, you're right. It's interesting. It goes hand in hand with security and obviously personnel or people relationships. And I think that's awesome that you shared that analogy. So thank you again. And Ric, I just want to let you know it was a pleasure having you on today. And I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Hey, Brian, really appreciate it. Anytime. Thank you.
Bye for now.